It was a wonderful experience. I learned a ton of things there. One of those things was that winning is not everything because we had four losing seasons. So so that is also a part of my athlete journey that, you know, I came from this culture of winning. And I'm sure this happens to so many athletes who play at the collegiate level. You know, you're used to being number 1 or number 2 in the team that you're playing, in the league that you're playing, because you're good enough to get recruited, right? And then you get to college, and you know, depending on what college you go to, or depending on like even if you're going to be a starter, like that's a whole thing, right? Like getting on the team, starting, and then where you're placing in league, where you're placing in conference, like all of those different things come into play. And most of us are used to being number 1, and we come from a culture of we win. That's what we do. We've always won. This is what I do. I win. And when you go, you like, I train my ass off and I win. And then you go to a school where you train your ass off, but you lose, and then you lose, and then you lose again. Like that's something that can it can bring about a couple of different lessons. You know, the first being winning isn't everything, and training is where it's at. So I got to like reinforce that whole like, oh yeah, I love training. I'll train my butt off all day. That's cool. But it also, you know, you learn how to kind of handle those losses. And I think that's still, you know, it's like one year you can have a losing season, you're like, that's cool, we'll bounce back, no big deal. And you have like a second losing season, you're like, no big deal, we're gonna get new coaches, everything's gonna be great, I'm gonna train my butt off, summer coming, new year, new me, new season, let's do it. And then you get to third season and you're still like, you're winning more, but you're still not over that 50% mark, or you're just over the 50% mark. You know, and then you get to senior year, you know, you've had a couple of injuries, and you know, you're still losing. And you know, you start to, and for me, I started to unattach from like the need to win. Like if I played my best game, that's cool. Like, and I had teammates that would get mad at me, like unbelievably mad, because I'm a player who likes to play happy. Like I want to be excited. Like even if we're 10 points down, like that's cool. Like I want to play happy. I don't want to play from a place of fear, or I don't want to play from a place of like lack, right? I want to play from this place of exuberance for the next play. But that's hard to do when you've been beaten down so much, or if you don't have a team that necessarily supports that. You know, they would get so mad at me because I'd be like, oh yeah, guys, no big deal. Let's go get them. Next game, no big deal. Come on, let's go. And they'd be like, no, Deanna, let's not. Or they were just different players. So it was definitely an interesting college season.